all of the 7-member organizations that fall under the SEC to kind of share with you the goals and the vision and what we've been kind of working on as a board and as individuals. So please hold your questions till the end. We are really glad that you're here to listen to us, and hopefully you have great questions for us. So first up will be Brian Brown, the president of the University Program Board.
Okay, so thank you, Alicia, and thanks to everybody who did come out this afternoon. Again, I'm Brian Brown, and it's my privilege to be the president of the University Program Board. So I thought it made the most sense to kind of start talking about UPB through the standpoint of what is our mission and what do we do. And it's pretty straightforward. We're an organization that exists to program on campus to enhance student life. So be it social programs, educational programs, we're kind of that supplement to the out-of-the-classroom experience that is, rounding out your education and, more importantly, your university experience. So I'd like to talk a little bit about UPB through 3 lenses very quickly, those being the past, the present, and the future. We'll start with the past. Last semester, which was a pretty great semester in terms of us. We did a lot more in terms of actual quantity and quality of events. We did more events by about twice as much last semester as compared to the semester previous. So really kind of revving up those programming initiatives. And as far as diversity programs go, we really have kind of broken out of the shell and challenged ourselves to reinvent new things, from restaurant hops to expanding the genres of music that you see at Spot Night. We took the homecoming dance off campus, kind of modeling ourselves after Snowball a little bit, which worked so well that the class officers did. And then the Kid Cudi concert was kind of that big, all-encompassing, massive break from the norm as far as winter concert artists go. Goal-wise, we really looked at accountability, building hype, and collaborating, which is really the goal that kind of, we achieved, I think, by far the best. We had a committee that worked solely with the Case Athletic Student Association to kind of help them program and hopefully pull more students into the athletic events, kind of fostering and encouraging that university spirit. Segue now into the present, spring semester 2010. Bigger things, bigger spot nights, bigger Twing Tuesdays, and kind of reevaluating what we're doing on a consistent basis. You're going to see from us in the next couple of weeks a survey that kind of asks you, how do you want us to promote to you? Do emails work? Do posters work? Kind of that continuous feedback cycle. If you haven't seen the newly redesigned upb.case.edu, check it out. It comes to you with automatically updating the most recent and upcoming event, and gives you a chance to kind of post comments as well. So if this is great, let us know. If it's not so great, let us know. And to this smaller, I guess, than expected crowd, I do have the privilege of announcing our spring concert for this semester, in case you've been waiting. So set your calendars. March 27th, it's a Saturday. Hello Goodbye will be visiting us in Adelbert Gymnasium. So first. So I think that kind of gives us a chance to focus now on the future, what's going on, and where we're going. This Monday, we actually elected our executive board for next year. So I guess that makes me, Alicia and I lame ducks in some intents, but it also gives us that kind of push to make these next 2.5 months really count. You're going to see a lot of increased focus on member development and training coming from us this semester, as we kind of look forward to increasing, the sustainability and the quality of what we do as we go along the way. Kind of continuing to push this evaluation and feedback idea. What do you want? I think is the biggest thing. Our greatest challenge right now in some ways is getting from students what they want to hear and what they want to see as far as events go and what's working and what isn't. So finding mechanisms to kind of keep going with that. Again, kind of continuing to increase collaboration across campus, opening co-sponsorships up a little bit more to offices and to student groups, making more money available so those students who are programming can take their programs to the next step. It doesn't have to be us that does the programming to kind of help us achieve this mission. And with that, and for the sake of keeping things going, I am going to go ahead and thank you for taking the time to listen. If you haven't checked out the website, check it out. If you haven't been to UPB meeting, 7 p.m., the basement of the Twing Center. If you're looking for things to do with your life next year, we're doing elections in 2 weeks for the Arts and Entertainment, Concerts and Cultural Development Committees, and then in 3 weeks for the other committees. So submit letters of intent to upbexec@case.edu or shoot us an email if you have questions about getting involved. And lastly, if you don't have one of these, it's a frequent flyer card. get it stamped every time you come to UPB event. Come to 5, you get a calculator. Come to 10, you get a t-shirt, and this counts. Talk to me afterwards. We've got these. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your support, and that's it.
Hi, everyone. My name is Miriam Posner, and I'm the president of the Class Officer Collective. Thank you, everyone, for taking time out of your Friday to take part in this event. It's really important that we all hold a personal stake and take an active role in both our university and holding its leaders accountable. The Class Officer Collective, or COC, is a relatively new organization compared to the other members of the Student Executive Council. We strive this year to establish ourselves on campus, making our name and our purpose known to the CASE community. The mission of the COC is to develop and maintain university traditions to unite the CASE community. Each class officer cohort, the president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer of each grade, is empowered to foster an identity within each respective class by supporting traditions through class and student body programming. This year, we in the COC have worked to enhance the CASE community through both our campus-wide and class events. Our main campus-wide traditions events have historically been Halloween at the Farm, the Snowball Semi-Formal, and Hudson Relays. This year, due to both a strong interest over the years from CASE students to move the event on campus and a scheduling conflict with the university's farm with the cross-country meet, we in the COC decided to turn Halloween at the Farm into Halloween at Home. Hosting the newly adapted event on Freiberger Field, we carried over many parts of Halloween at Farm that made it great. The live music, free food and candy, pumpkin carving, but then we expanded it as well. Striving to involve as many students as possible, we included booths from other campus organizations with Halloween-themed activities, scary movies, fireworks, among other things. Hundreds of students were in attendance, as well as many people from the wider community. We worked to make it more accessible to the CASE community and have decided to keep it on campus for the future. Our other two main campus-wide traditions, Snowball and Hudson Relays, are coming up this spring. Snowball is 1 week from today. Tickets go on sale on Monday. It will be held this year, as it was last year, at the Cleveland Metropolitan Ballroom on the top floor of a skyscraper downtown. One of our most beloved events, Snowball, is our annual semi-formal dance that provides an opportunity for CASE students to get dressed up and head downtown for a night of dancing and delicious hors d'oeuvres with your fellow Spartans. This year is our 11th annual Snowball. We've replaced the traditional fashion show with a dance performance by Urban Elements in response to students' input. Additionally, a portion of ticket sales will be going to an organ donation charity, Life Bank, in memory of the class officer who created Snowball, who tragically passed away his senior year at CASE. It's going to be another great night, and I encourage you all to attend. Our final campus-wide tradition, Hudson Relays, will be held on April 24th. It's our annual baton relay race around campus between the 4 classes and an alumni team. This year marks the 100th anniversary of the Hudson Relays, and members of the Class Officer Collective are working with the Centennial Committee to help to broaden the programming during and before the event to help tie this race to our school's rich history. It promises to be an exciting day, and you should all come out to represent your class as either a runner or a fan. Each individual class also works to plan events to unite the students in their grade. This fall, the freshmen planned several popular events, including a class barbecue, a class rave, and an extremely successful dodgeball tournament with over 200 participants. The sophomores coordinated a trip to Cedar Point and hosted a food extravaganza with a performance by Improvement. The juniors took a trip to the 7 Levels of Hell haunted house around Halloween and went to an Indians game and gave away free class of 2011 sweatpants to their class. The seniors worked with the Career Center to create a networking reception on the day of the Fall Career Fair, sold tickets to a DJ Tiesto concert, and hosted a senior bar night on West 6th. Looking forward to spring semester, the COC is working to further our constant growth and development by improving our organization, both through several strategic planning initiatives for the organization as a whole, and goals to improve the impact of our programming on the students. We're working to differentiate ourselves, striving to be more clear about our identity as an organization and increasing our visibility on campus. This April, the COC will be holding our first independent elections. We will be publicizing them in tandem with USG to highlight what makes our organizations unique and what the specific positions entail. We're continuing to develop our natural partnership with the Office of Annual Giving that we created this fall, working to develop our senior class gift initiatives throughout the 4 years. At the same time, we're trying to get more connected with other organizations and traditions on campus through co-sponsorship of initiatives such as Twink Study Over, the Leadership Conferences, and Integrity Week. For our class events, we're striving to vary our programming to reflect the diverse interests of the CASE student body. The freshman class is planning a trip to the Cleveland Playhouse. The juniors are looking to host an etiquette dinner to help prepare their class for the future. The COC is constantly striving to unite each class as well as the CASE community through our traditions. As we work to establish ourselves on campus and improve our programming, we always have you, the students, in mind. And now, Michelle Udem from Media Board.
Thank you, Miriam. And thank you to students, administrators, and faculty members for attending the Student Executive Council State of the University Address. This event is important as it holds all members of the Student Executive Council accountable for their goals, missions, and purposes for the year. This is our report card, as well as our thoughts on the state of the university based on our experiences and our observations. My name is Michelle Udem, and I am the chair of the Media Board. As a member of the Student Executive Council, I represent the student-run media organizations on campus, consisting of The Observer, Retrospect Yearbook, Discussions Research Journal, Case Reserve Review, Literary Journal, WRUW Radio Station, Ignite TV, the Athenian Satirical Journal, the Film Society, and the Engineering and Science Review. I would like to speak on behalf of the Media Board in thanking the student body for providing exceptional articles, critical skills such as editing, production techniques, layout expertise, and the endless and selfless creative talent which have been contributed to all of our media organizations. Without the students' passion, devotion, and extraordinary creative skills, Cases Media would not be as acclaimed as it is. Kudos. One issue I feel I must address is the result of the recent salary referendum. With the voting of the salary referendum ending just last week, the future of Cases Media organizations are at risk of the potential decline in growth and quality of staff members. Close to 60% of the 1,300 students who voted in opposition to the small amount of the Student Activities Fund being utilized as student salaries. Regardless of this vote against the Media Board, I still strongly believe that the Case media outlets are valued highly by the student body. Given the current difficult economic times each of us is experiencing, we are proud to be able to still flourish in the continued commitment, creativity, and growth of our groups. Working with my fellow Media Board members, I know that the board will come up with well-thought-out solutions to the new environment it is facing. Furthermore, I strongly feel that the referendum results will help the SEC come out more prepared and unified in addressing challenges which the students at Case will be encountering in the coming future. The Media Board is consistently seeking to improve and enhance the student-run media outlets. Utilization of new technologies has been a major focus of media outlets all over the nation, as well as media outlets on campus. We realize that in order to maintain our competitive edge, we must focus on technology while continuing to work with our traditional print and production outlets. For example, the Case Reserve Review now accepts online submissions and has created a system that allows for real-time editing for multiple editors all online. Additionally, WRUW has recently started a digitization project and is currently in the process of digitizing thousands of CDs in its libraries, freeing up physical space in the Mather Memorial basement area, as well as preserving the music library on hard drives. But none of this work would be worthwhile without reliable and enthusiastic staff members who have devoted many hours to support and expand on various outlets. An important goal for Media Board this semester is to generate publicity and get the attention of potential writers and authors, and to encourage students with key technical skills to join us. We've been speaking to professors in several departments ranging from electrical engineering to English to encourage their students to submit research work, literary papers, or technical skills to our media organizations. For example, discussion staff members have been meeting with professors in various departments, encouraging them to prod students to submit their research papers to discussions for publication. Moreover, we are also actively seeking various groups around campus to co-sponsor media-related mixers and events. The synergy of the media outlets and the enormous variety of groups, talent, and skills around campus can become a powerful educational tool and lead to widely acclaimed accomplishments which are imperative to Media Board's goals of advancement. We understand that we provide, We understand that we provide a resource for students as well as a unique learning opportunity. That is why I am enthusiastically optimistic for the future of the media outlets and the university. Together, we will develop a richer and more rewarding hands-on experience for students. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Christian Anderson. I'm the Vice President of Communications for the Interfraternal Congress, and this is...
I'm Laura Ansley. I'm the Greek Community Educational Consultant for the Pan-Hellenic Council.
John and Katie, presidents of our respective organizations, couldn't be here. They're at a conference in St. Louis right now, so we're pinch hitting for the day. First thing I want to talk about is some common misconceptions about the relationship between IFC and Pan-Hell with respect to the Greek Life Office. A lot of people feel like IFC and Pan-Hell are simply puppets of the Greek Life Office, and this is not true. Both our organizations make every decision with respect to the fraternity and sorority communities. We decide who gets sanctioned, we decide what philanthropy events get through, and the list goes on of the decisions we make ourselves. The office staff is simply an advisor for our organizations. And fortunately for us, the goals of the office and for our organizations coincide, which may make it seem like the Greek Life Office is running IFC and Pan-Hell, but that is not true. On IFC's side, I would like to talk a little bit about recruitment. Last fall, we saw the best recruitment numbers since 2002. The average new members per chapter was 11. This semester in the spring, we saw smaller numbers, but it was about on par with a typical spring rush for us. Currently, IFC is looking into modifying our spring recruitment. Ideas on the table are possibly pushing back spring recruitment a little bit and hosting some all-Greek activities at the beginning of the spring semester to possibly improve recruitment numbers for the spring. Another thing we're emphasizing is 365 recruitment. And this is just the idea that recruitment happens all year round. It's not just the first 2 weeks of each semester, and that's something we're trying to push through our chapters and push through our Greek community, is that you recruit all the time and not only at the first 2 weeks of the semester. Something else we'd like to talk about is non-Greek participation. We realize not all of our events cater to all of campus. We do have events that are only for Greeks, but we would like to open an invitation to everyone on campus. Some of our events are also meant to include non-Greeks. For example, we have Faculty Forum coming up, which is going to be co-sponsored by USITE. And this year, it's going to be about academic advising and how can we improve academic advising. And while it has IFC and Pan-Hell's name on it, this is something that is applicable to the entire university community. And we just want to make sure that the non-Greek community knows that they are welcome and actually encouraged to come to these events, because we want their input, because this affects them too. If you want to join us for Faculty Forum, it's Friday, February 19th at 12:30 in CLAP 108. We're also hosting a speaker for Greek 3, TJ Sullivan, who will be talking about apathy in student organizations. Again, it's a part of Greek Week. Greek 3 is an event in Greek Week, and it has IFC and Pan-Hell's names on it. But this, again, is about all student organizations. He will not be speaking simply about Greek life, fraternities, and sororities. He will talk about how to decrease apathy in every aspect of a student organization, which makes it applicable to the entire university campus or community. And we'd just like to help you guys, encourage you guys to come to that. And for Pan-Hell's report, here's Laura.
Hello, everyone. Also a report on sorority recruitment, which just wrapped up a couple weeks ago. Recruitment numbers were good. In the fall, we promoted recruitment through several pre-recruitment events, including watching an episode of Greek and discussing stereotypes and how they differ from case Greek life, making Halloween decorations to donate to the Hope Lodge, as well as a panel on scholarship and academics and a meet and greet with Greek women. There was also mock recruitment in early December, which shows potential new members how recruitment works and gives them a quick run through. And something new we were doing with recruitment this year is less frills, which means fewer decorations, less setup, recruiting women were supposed to be more focused on conversations. This was very successful, and the sororities took in new member classes of 22 new women. Last weekend, we also had our first ever Greek Life Transition Conference. Over 200 students attended. It included a lunch followed by 2 sessions. Some of them were position specific for scholarship chairs, treasurers, house managers, and there are also other open topics such as recruitment, motivation, and running effective meetings. And presenters included IFC and Panhandle exec members, staff from the Greek Life office, chapter advisors, other campus professionals, and we were quite happy with its success. Coming up this semester, Panhandle is actually working again on a junior Panhandle board, which will be made up of one member from each sorority pledge class, and they will be shadowing a member of Panhandle exec to learn more about the Greek community and what Panhandle does, and to interact with other members of the community outside of their chapter and pledge class. We're also heavily involved in the faculty staff basketball game, which is coming up on February 26th. And Greek Week, of course, is in March 21st through 28th. And the theme this year is Peace, Love, and Greek Week. And the logo was actually chosen this morning, so we're gearing up and preparing for Greek Week. Finally, one more thing that IFC and Panhandle together are focusing on is scholarship with new member education. In the fall, our fraternity pledge class GPAs were a little lower than we would have liked, and the women as well can always have room for improvement, so we're looking at some new incentives and improvement for new member GPAs, including a t-shirt contest that the pledge class with the highest GPA will receive free letter shirts for the entire pledge class and the new member educator. That's most of what we're working on this semester, so thank you for your attention, and next up is Grace Bell from RHA.
It is an honor to speak with all of you today about the progress and the goals of the Residence Hall Association for 2009-2010. It is the mission of RHA to continually assess the needs of each community, each residential community, and then meet the needs of each community through programming, advocacy, and leadership development. During the past 2 years, RHA has chosen those 3 tenets of programming, advocacy, and leadership development to be the key things that we focus on, because RHA, as an organization that has around 120 students on campus, primarily a lot of first and second years, it is the largest opportunity for first and second years to get involved in leadership roles. And one of the things that we really want to do is give them the opportunity to kind of get their hands on the programming that they could get in touch with UPB or COC, get in touch with the advocacy that you'll hear about from Dwayne in a minute from USG, and also kind of develop their leadership skills. So if they would like to stay in RHA, we're very happy, but that they can also take those skills to other aspects of campus and really be a benefit to the entire CASE community. In order to achieve these 3 tenets, this year we've made a lot of changes to our community councils. Our councils are made up from each residential community, and we added 4 new positions this year. The first new position is an advocacy position, really assessing the needs of their specific residential community, creating community forums and community surveys to really making sure that the work that they are doing is really meeting the needs of those students. The next position is PR, which includes advertising and communicating the work that RHA is doing to their individual residents. The next is historian. Since the communities are first years, second years, and upper class students, it's very hard to build traditions because the class changes every year. So what we're trying to do is, by building organizational memory through the historian traditions, we are also able to build community traditions that will live on beyond the specific class. The next and last new position is the outreach position. In the outreach positions, we're really looking at community service and sustainability, really understanding that while we're very active in our own residential communities and the CASE community as a whole, that we also are encouraging our members and our residents to be active residents and community members of the Cleveland community and the global community. So beyond that, beyond the new positions, we've also increased our co-sponsorship budget. That way we can reach out to the Case Western community as a whole. For programming this year, we have had our highest attended casino night earlier this year. Last night we had our date movie night, which went very, very well. We've also been focusing a lot more on our community service programming. One of our councils raised over $1,000 for a walk for autism. Our organization took part in a walk for diabetes earlier this year, and we're also planning a Habitat Day for members of our organization to not only build a community within our own organization, but to also help the greater Cleveland community. The next piece that we've done for advocacy is that we've had small community forums, from a day in the life, which really looks at food allergies and what does that mean for a CASE student. We've also had larger forums for housing selection, health and happiness, and we're really trying to become a more active role and giving the information that we have as an organization to all of the residents and the CASE community. The other thing that we've been doing for advocacy this year has been working a lot with the administration of Housing and Residence Life to analyze problems that are coming up and to be a proactive voice for the students. We've worked a lot for housing selection with USG, IFC Panhandle, and housing. We've also discussed laundry services and what that cost looks like, and I'm happy to announce that we will be having free laundry service for all residents starting fall 2010. Woo. And then for leadership development, this is probably the most exciting thing for me, is really watching the training and development of new members. I've been a part of this organization for 4 years, so that's definitely like a soft place in my heart to really see kind of how the organization is growing. And I'm very proud to announce that our iTrain 2009-2010 continual training program was actually a regional winning and awarding training program for the 2009-2010 year. This year we expanded it beyond just having a fall training to having a fall training, a spring training, and also to have small training sessions throughout the year on community service, recognition, conflict resolution, that are open not only to members of our organization, but also to all residents and all members of the CASE community, because we know that training is something that just doesn't happen with members of our organization, but members of all of your organizations as well. For the 2010 spring semester, we have 5 goals that we're really looking forward to working on. First is making sure that our number one goal is always that RHA has an impact and a positive impact on the residential life at Case Western Reserve University. We always want to make sure that residents are the forefront in our mind and that we're really meeting their needs. The second is just a clear dissemination of information. We started an RHA newsletter and a resident newsletter that really trying to share the organization's passion for residential life, but also the work that we're doing on behalf of the residents. The last is advising for each council. Each council for RHA is advised by a graduate student, and the graduate students this year have been fantastic, but we're really looking at analyzing what is their skill set, what should we be making sure that each member of RHA, whether they're a general member, a member of the general body, or just an advocate or an outreach rep, what experience are they having and what can they bring to their community? What skill sets are they bringing are they learning by the end of the year? And by analyzing the advising section, we're really making sure that everyone has an impact and everyone has a skill set by the time they leave this organization at the end of the year. The last piece is an analysis of the new positions. We have 4 new positions this year, so we definitely want to make sure that they're worthwhile positions and great additions to our organization. The final is a transition of a new board. Our elections are February 22nd, and with 4 graduating seniors on the board, we definitely want to make sure that the progress that we've made over the last 4 years as an organization will live on beyond kind of the graduation of the current class. So we're definitely looking forward to making sure that next year's RHA will be just as strong, if not stronger, to make sure that we're having a strong transition of our new board. You can always join your RHA community council, so just email case-rha@case.edu if you really want to make an impact on your community. Also, we're happy and welcoming to all students who either are residents or are not residents to attend our events or to attend our leadership development. So thank you very much, and I'd like to hand the mic over to Dwayne Pinder of Undergraduate Student Government.
Thank you, Grace, and thank you for all of you who had decided to attend. I am hopeful that we can have a really good, productive discussion at the close of my remarks. Get the mic set. All right. As mentioned, my name is Dwayne Pinder, and I'm the president of Undergraduate Student Government. USG's main purpose is to serve as the link between you, the students, and the faculty, staff, and administration. Our job is to advocate on your behalf to make sure that your student experience is the best that it can be. The reason we meet every week, the goal of all of our activities, and the singular focus is you. We listen to your concerns, and then we act. Listening is what we do. We want to hear your opinions. Your thoughts and feelings are what guides our activities. So we do not just want to hear what you think, we need to hear what you think. Therefore, we have actively looked for ways to get your opinion. Our representatives have held outreach events to survey on specific issues. We've utilized social media such as Facebook, Twitter, and GChat to gain your thoughts and feelings. We facilitate open forums and events to hear what you think. And we will continue to seek and create new ways to hear your thoughts because that is what drives our action. So what happens after we listen? What do we do after we hear a student concern? The next step is to create recommendations based on your feelings and then send those recommendations to those in power in order to change things for the better. We have recommended the improvement of campus safety through the implementation of emergency blue lights around campus, and we've begun to see this fulfilled. We have recommended improving academic advising, and concrete changes will be in place at the start of next semester. We have recommended widening the sidewalk at the Euclid-Adelbert crossing in order to increase space for students, and plans will soon be implemented to make this a reality. We have recommended improving study abroad programs to expand access and ease of use for students, and now a university committee has been created to solve these issues. We have recommended giving you more study and meeting space, and now the upstairs of the University Coffee House is open for student use. We also continue to persist to make sure that our recommendations become policy. We have continually advocated for the construction of a university student center. We have proposed that you be able to view course evaluation comments so that you have more information when you're selecting classes. We have recommended that merit scholarships be open to all students. And we will continue to urge that these and other improvements be implemented. So if you want to change something, let us know. We exist to serve you. Another focal point for USG is to improve your student experience by encouraging collaboration throughout the student body. We believe our student experience is enriched when we work with and learn from each other and grow from the different perspectives and other viewpoints. Because of this, USG has actively looked for ways to cooperate with other organizations. We work with organizations such as the Student Leadership Journey Council or the Residence Hall Association, and we encourage students to embrace the same spirit of collaboration. We offered prioritized funding to student groups who collaborate and cooperate with each other. We have created a diversity and inclusion ad hoc committee to discuss how cultural student groups can effectively work with each other to educate the broader campus community. However, we realize that collaboration doesn't just happen. You have to have the tools in order to cooperate effectively. For this reason and many others, we have purchased a student organization software called Collegiate Link. The best way I can kind of describe this software, it's like a campus version, specific version of Facebook that will allow our student organizations to run more efficiently and smoothly and will allow each individual student to be aware and get more actively involved in activities that happen on campus. Each of you will have the ability to sign onto this website, manage your own personal involvement, and then see exactly what is happening on campus and when. Imagine a centralized student organization calendar that will allow you to plan your events much easier. Imagine instead of having to flyer all over campus in every building, you can automatically upload your online flyer to an online flyer board that the entire campus can see instantly. Imagine being able to view every single one of our 155 student organizations at your leisure. No more looking through websites that have information from 5 years ago. No more searching through the case network to find out who the president of a certain student group is. All of these processes will be streamlined to enhance your activities and involvement. And finally, there will be no more paper mass funding. Everything for your recognition and funding process will be done in a smooth and efficient way through this online software. As you can probably tell, I am and we are all excited about the introduction of this software because it will revolutionize the way student activities are done on this campus, and it will lead to a much better experience for present and future students. We are also excited about this because it gives us another avenue to seek your opinion. I hope you are noticing a trend here. We want to hear from you. Collegiate Link will allow us to post our legislation, send quick surveys, discuss various issues with all of you so that we can be more effective in what we do. USG's slogan is students first. However, it is not just something we have under our logo or that we like to see on t-shirts. It is the essence of who we are. It is at the core of what we do. You are the reason for our actions, and serving your interests is the reason we exist. We look forward to working with you to improve this university, so let us know what we can do for you. Thank you. Alicia will now facilitate our question and answer session.
Dwayne, why don't you stay up here? And can I have one member from every organization kind of stand up here so people have a person to direct questions to? Okay, I think those mics are working, so if you have a question, why don't you come up or just shout it out and I can repeat it for you.
I have the question to the chair of the media board, but when does the yearbook meet? Do you know when the meetings are for a yearbook?
I don't know, but I can find out that information for you. They have an email list, and they meet whenever they're able to get everyone to come together.
Okay. I also have another question for the Greek life representative. I think this was a question for the fraternity representative, but when you said about 365 days of recruitment, could you clarify what you meant by that?
Basically, is this on? Yeah. 365 recruitment is there 365 days in a year. So what happens with fraternity, obviously, I'm not trying to insult anyone here, but what happens with fraternity recruitment is first 2 weeks of fall semester, first 2 weeks of spring semester, we have officially rush. you know, and every fraternity is out in force. Greek life is, you know, very prevalent. You see all the organizations there. What we're trying to push is the fact that, you know, not only during those 2 weeks can you meet people, but through the whole semester. What we want to do is make our organizations visible throughout the whole semester and not only in those 2 weeks, you know. We want to be there for the 2 weeks and then be there for the entire semester, because recruitment doesn't only happen. It's not a law that in only 2 weeks can you meet people for your fraternity or sorority. You can meet them throughout the whole semester, and that's what we're looking for, and that's what we mean by 365 recruitment.
Okay, thank you.
This question is for Grace. How is the free laundry going to work? Are students going to receive a stipend, or are they going to be able to use the machines as often as they want?
How it's going to work, is that there will be an additional cost put onto your housing bill at the beginning of the year. However, you can use it as often or as frequently as you please. So if you have a load of laundry, you no longer have to find quarters, which is the bane of my personal residence life existence currently. Or you don't have to use case cash, or if the case cash machine is down, you don't have to walk over to Wade to get quarters. So it's really about making an ease of use and making it so that students in your house, you don't need to pay for your laundry, I'm assuming. So what we're really hoping to doing is really making sure that your residential community is like being at home, because that's kind of our goal. So you don't have to pay for laundry. You pay at the beginning of the year for your entire housing experience, and that is part of your housing experience. We want you to have clean clothes.
Okay. Thank you.
I am not sure. It really depends on the house. I know that some of the houses do have free laundry already, and that's paid for in their housing. However, it really depends, it really depends on the housing and each chapter. I am not sure. That is something that you should talk to either Wes, or I can talk to Janice and I will let you know.
What? Do you know if housing will contact you?
I assume that it will be a part, it will be written into the contracts that housing puts together. So if you are a chapter that has a housing contract, it will be written into your housing contract that you will or will not receive free laundry. So that will be something that will be written into your contract, and something that maybe your chapter would like to contact them about. However, I will be talking to them about the stipulations, and I will make sure to pass the information along to the correct Greek life affiliations.
You'd actually want to ask Mark Starr about that, because he handles housing for all of the Greek chapter houses.
Yeah, my question was, I want to know how big of a role did RHA and maybe USG play in changing the village lottery housing scheme?
I'll just hold the mic. So I'll pass it down to you, Dwayne, in a minute. RHA, IFC, and USG, well, IFC and Panhell, but it was primarily an IFC rep who's been with us on the committee, have been starting these discussions since December of 2008. I think was our first meeting. It was really a discussion about looking at the current process, what were the issues that were brought up by students at the end of housing lottery. For any of you who attended housing lottery, I mean, people cheered last year when they found out it was going to be changed. So everybody knew it was something that needed to be edited in some fashion. So what we did is we kind of pretty much drew every type of idea that we could think of. Did we want a 7-tiered system, which is something that we looked at, that was deemed too complicated? Did we want to look at matriculation? However, how do you determine matriculation when some students take a semester off for either personal reasons, or some students who take a co-op, it's actually deemed a semester off if they don't get their paperwork in time for a practicum? Also, if students transfer in, some students are transferring in from community college, so would you do their year of matriculation from CASE or from their initial institution? So there was about 5% of student residents who we actually couldn't calculate their year of matriculation, which then made it unfair for those students and an unfair system as a whole. So we kind of analyzed every situation and proposed things to the housing committee, and we're a really active role in kind of discussing what situation would be chosen. So I would say we've taken an active role in not only posing the initial question, but also the discussion throughout the entire year-plus process that it's been so far. And right now we've been working, RHA has 3 representatives that sit on the Housing Selection Committee now, who are all upperclassmen who have been through the first-year selection, the second-year selection, and also the former upper-class selection, to really make sure that the student voice is continually heard in the process of disseminating the information to students, and also making sure that it is the information is shared in a way that students will actually be able to read and understand it. So all of the information will be going up on Monday. You'll see posters that have color, and the 1, 2, 3 system will be back, so get excited.
And then I guess the other question related to that, kind of related to that, will Village House 3, Suite 440 be on the lottery now, or is that still reserved?
That is depending. As a non-member of the Student Executive Council, well, non-voting member of the Student Executive Council, one of the benefits of being on RHA Exec is that you do get to choose your housing first. We have to live in housing as members of RHA, so they have to guarantee that we do live in housing, so we do get to choose suites first. However, I am not sure if that suite will be chosen. I'm going to bet dollars to donuts it will be. However, the other balcony suite will be open, and that actually has a better view according to the NCAA, or
and then,
the Collegiate Athletic Conference.
I guess my last question is for USG. I don't know, there's been a lot of like rumor and talk, and I just wanted to ask you, what steps or what messages did USG send to case administration with regards to the ban of the DC++ protocol?
Okay. So my VP of IT is here, so he can kind of correct me, but basically what happened was Skylar met with Thomas Sue, who's the Chief Information Officer for CASE. And basically what happened was he was informed that the federal regulations have changed in the sense of if you are aware of a file sharing network that's on your campus, that you have to shut it down, or else like federal funding will be either severely decreased or cut. So because DC++ is not a secret, and because he definitely knew about it, people in ITS knew about it, he had to recommend that it be shut down. Now what happened was, after we broke the news, Skylar came to USG and basically told us this. The word got out pretty quickly, and the owners and facilitators of DC++, they found out and they shut it down on their own. So CASE didn't really take any action. They were going to, but the owners of DC++ decided to shut it down on their own. So that's basically what happened. Because there was knowledge of the network, then they had to kind of take steps to shut it down, or else we wouldn't be able to have the funding that we would from the federal government. I've been told yes, it is being banned. The entire protocol is being banned. Okay. Any other questions? Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. Our own university president is in attendance. What I've been told in my meetings is that we are extremely, extremely close. The people in development have been doing a lot of really good work, and this is the university's #1 priority when it comes to construction and development. So they're extremely, extremely close. I'm hoping we can see some progress by the end of this semester, maybe an announcement of some sort, not to put any pressure. But again, this is something that USG and a lot of the student leaders have been stressing. A University Student Center is something that will drastically enhance student life, and it's something that I think I mentioned almost monthly in my meetings with President Snyder. So they are working on it. They're extremely, extremely close. So hopefully we can have some progress before the semester ends. So, you want to answer? Yeah.
The really exciting side note is, despite the fact that, you know, we're living through this recession, donations to the university are up. So as we come out of this recession, we can hope that, you know, we'll keep seeing more and more of that money. And believe me, it's not just, you know, it's not just a USG conversation. It's an everybody conversation in terms of, you know, this kind of ongoing issue that is space on campus. So, I mean, we have a super powerful advocate in terms of USG, but it's kind of something everybody, you know, I think, you know, Glenn Nichols could attest to the fact that every time we have an SEC meeting, it's one of those questions where we're like, so how are we doing on that? So we're working on it.
Any other questions? No? Oh, yes.
I am actually trying to convince my friend to go to Snowball. He's a little reluctant, but to Miriam, I just wanted to ask, you mentioned that a girl, the Snowball is for a girl who passed away.
Yes.
Is there some kind of like charity for her at Snowball?
A portion, in the past we've had like a raffle where people can like donate money, and half of, like, it'd be like a 50-50 raffle, half of the money would go to the charity. We haven't yielded as much money in the past as we wanted to, so now 5% of ticket sales are going to go to Life Bank. It's an organ donation charity, because she died of organ failure. And so her family years ago when it happened said that was the charity they wanted money to go to. So every year we've donated some money, but hopefully this year we'll be able to bring the amount up. So hopefully that'll help your friend.
Thank you.
With the recent water main break on Southside, I'm wondering, I mean, the emails that we got were from a lot of different people, and they were late. I know the boil alerts were very late, and some people actually consume the water, so I'm just wondering what steps RHA has taken.
Well, first of all, I want to kind of, I guess, thank everyone who was a part of getting the information out. I know that it was a Saturday, so what's difficult with all the snow and with everything is kind of getting the information out to students on a day when people don't work, especially the people that would be sharing the information. What was difficult was kind of the sharing of information from the city of Cleveland. So we had to get our information from the city of Cleveland, and then that had to be distilled down to our specific area of water, no water, and then passed along. Actually, people on Southside never needed to boil water. It was kind of a confusion in the emails, so better safe than sorry. However, the people who did drink water prior to the boil alert going off, they will not be sick. So there's the positive. I think we were not as active and involved because it was over the weekend. With it, we did discuss it with housing kind of immediately when the members of housing did return, and Matt Keller, who is our VP of Residential Relations, was very active in kind of the discussion of that. We discussed it at our general body meeting on Monday as well, and he's actually, there's an article in the Observer, so check it out. But actually, we weren't as involved in the initial sharing of information just because it happened so quickly and the information had to go directly from the city of Cleveland to administration to students as quickly as possible. So some of the delay was just because it was a citywide issue and not just a campus-wide issue.
Question why it took them so long to tell us things like that, because, and I just feel like they now, like the greenie routes at night have changed where they're stopping at Beale, and I don't feel like that was ever really publicized to the students. The parking lot at Fribley is not being, what do you call it, plowed enough to the point where cars, like it's hard to park because there's 6 inches of snow because the road's shut down. But I feel like there's just been a delay of, yeah, who should we contact to tell that we're dissatisfied?
I would say for Fribley, either contact your USG representative or feel free to contact RHA, case-RHA at case.edu. We'd be happy to pass along the information to administration. I am definitely kind of on Dwayne's bandwagon for this. If we don't know what's happening, I currently do not live on Southside, so if I don't know that you have your parking area is not being plowed, you have to let us know. So definitely our representatives will let us know, but please feel free to share the information and shoot us an email, shoot an email to USG, and we'd be happy to make sure that we pass that along to administration.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's important to stay in contact with your representatives, but I think it's also important that we have forums like this with the university president in attendance so she can hear some of the frustrations. I definitely understand when students are told to boil water 6 hours, you know, after, it causes concern and sometimes panic. So I think this is something moving forward that we'll work with university administration to kind of streamline some things, hopefully get some line of communication open. So if this does happen again, the communication will be faster. So this is an ongoing discussion we'll have with the people in power and ongoing between both of our organizations. So it is being looked into. I'll start, you finish. Okay. So the first phase of Leutner kind of happened last summer. They revamped the kitchen, and the next stage, which you're seeing now, is the revamping of the spot and the dining hall area. So they're kind of in the preparation stage, getting things ready, and then the major construction will happen over the summer. So Leutner and the spot will be finished at the beginning of next semester. So kind of over the summer orientation, things will have to move over to Southside. They're going to have different events, but everything will be shut down over the summer so we can have a brand new dining hall after I graduate. So yeah. You want to finish? I don't know if there's
The end of construction is still scheduled to be done by August 1st. So I think we are still on schedule, for the best of my knowledge, for that construction date. But like Dwayne said, they're going to be doing some more renovations. You'll see more renovations done in the inside of Leutner and the spot and L3 during this next semester. You'll be seeing more progress than the fence and then the holes. So you'll be able to see it a little bit more, and then by the time you all arrive back to campus, Dwayne and I will both be absent, but when you return back to campus for next fall, it will be a completely new facility. The drawings are amazing, so it will be a better programming space down in the spot, a better dining facility. There will be study spaces. It'll really be kind of everything that you would want in a super duper dining facility.
They're getting rid of the jukebox also. I mean, you snap now, but when you're a senior, those are the things you kind of like appreciate. So I'm kind of sad to see it go. There's going to be a satellite radio that's going to be put in. So there's going to be new music instead of hearing Shaggy all the time. But yeah, something to look forward to. We can take that under advisement.
You should attend RHA Food Committee if you have any questions about Bon Appetit or the Leutner renovations. They'd be happy to take any feedback, because Bon Appetit has graciously been willing to support a large portion of this building project and has really included a lot of student feedback in that. So please feel free to attend Food Committee. The next one is Thursday, the upcoming Thursday, from 6 to 7 in Fribley.
Anything else?
Okay. Well, thank you very much for attending. We really appreciate all your questions. If you do have any more questions, feel free to email any one of us. We'd be more than happy to answer any outstanding questions. So thanks very much. Have a great Friday and a great weekend.